Tourism to the U.S. is on the decline. The U.S. is set to lose $12.5 billion because of it.
Back, everyone. Canadian tourism into the U.S. continues to decline, down more than 30% last month compared to 2024.
We've seen a 50% decline in our Canadian members.
$250. That's the new price just to step foot in the United States if you're from a country without a visa waiver. Seems minor, doesn't it? But it's already sparking a colossal crisis. Since July, this visa fee has been silently dismantling America's $1.9 trillion tourism industry. The impact isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet, it's emptying streets. Miami hotels are barely half booked. Vegas shows are being canceled. Tucson resorts are slashing rates. Even New York's tour buses are running with rows of empty seats. Restaurants are struggling to find patrons or workers. Airbnb hosts are throwing in the towel. Theme parks are shutting gates early. This isn't just a quiet summer, it's a red flag. When millions of global tourists say, not worth the cost, what happens to the cities that rely on them? If America's top tourism hubs are already faltering, who's next to fade from the map? Let's focus on Tucson. This Arizona gem, once a desert tourism hotspot, now feels like a ghost town. Tour buses have dwindled. Gift shops gather dust. Hotel lobbies are silent. The decline hit fast. Since the $250 visa fee took effect under the sweeping new bill on July 4th, 2025, international visitors have plummeted. Visit Tucson noted a 32% drop in foreign travelers, a statistic that sent shockwaves through the local hospitality sector. Worse yet, nearly 40% of the city's tourism businesses have either laid off workers or closed temporarily. Not because demand shifted elsewhere, but because it vanished entirely. No tour groups, no student programs, no international conventions. Just blocks of empty hotel rooms and closed until further notice signs. In 2024, Tucson was gaining traction, with airports expanding to welcome more visitors. Now, that momentum has been ripped away. This isn't a brief slump, it's a harsh economic truth. When tourists are priced out, cities like Tucson bear the cost. How many more will follow suit? Carrying the thread forward, Spokane is another victim. In Washington state, international student programs tanked this summer. J-1 visa numbers cratered. The city's summer workforce, especially hostesses, evaporated quickly. According to Inside Higher Ed, the U.S. issued 7,000 fewer J-1 visas in May 2025 compared to May 2024, a 13% drop in exchange visitors. Spokane felt the blow hard. Over 60% of hotels and resorts struggled to hire housekeepers, cooks, or front desk staff. Managers ended up scrubbing rooms and serving guests themselves. Summer festival bookings disappeared. Airbnb cancellations surged. Local hospitality revenue collapsed overnight. What seemed like a minor policy change gutted the workforce that keeps hotels running, beaches tidy, and attractions thriving. Spokane's story isn't unique. It's a warning of how visa policies can strangle a city's income and seasonal vitality. The resort lanes are quiet now, but the impact reverberates across the state. Shifting from Spokane's struggles, we land in New Orleans, a city synonymous with tourism, now spiraling downward. In mid-April 2025, New Orleans and Company reported a sharp decline in Canadian visitors, driven by backlash to the U.S. visa fee and trade tensions. One event lays bare the damage. The iconic French Quarter Festival saw revenues plummet by 42%, with international attendance dropping by about 35%. Hundreds of street performers and driver jobs vanished. Local operators say nearly half of planned acts canceled or never arrived. Hotel occupancy tanked. Restaurants closed early. Bus tours along Bourbon Street ground to a halt. The policy change sent shockwaves through the travel sector, deterring international visitors and clouding Canada's role as a quick getaway spot. Festival organizers scrambled to boost tourist interest. City officials invited Canadian media to counter negative perceptions. But the harm was done. New Orleans lost millions in economic activity from food, music, and lodging. The city that lives for vibrancy turned quiet by month's end. This isn't a blip, it's a collapse of confidence. When New Orleans loses its spark, something bigger is broken. New Orleans sounded the alarm, and the data now backs up what the silence revealed. Kansas City, Missouri, a 2026 World Cup host city, is staring at a massive shortfall. Local officials and tourism boards estimate a $220 million loss in international visitor revenue, directly linked to the new visa fee. Travel operators and inbound agencies report a 47% drop in group tours from South America and Africa, key groups expected to flood the city during World Cup festivities. Instead of opening doors, the new rule slammed them shut. Families from Argentina, Ghana, and Nigeria scrapped travel plans. Agents in Sao Paulo and Accra confirmed mass tour cancellations, pointing to visa cost increases as the breaking point. Kansas City had geared up for record crowds, with upgraded hotels, extended transit hours, and stock merchants. Now, stadium seats may sit half empty, not from lack of excitement, but from entry barriers. For a city that poured resources into World Cup prep and global outreach, this isn't just a financial hit, it's a blow to its reputation. The path to 2026 was meant to be a triumph. Now it's about damage control. Following Kansas City, New York City faces a subtler but more dangerous decline. In May 2025, the World Travel and Tourism Council projected a $12.5 billion loss in U.S. international tourism spending this year, with New York set to lose the most. Locally, NYC Tourism Plus Conventions warned of 2 million fewer international visitors in 2025, translating to a $4 billion drop in visitor spending. This hits everything: hotels, museums, even street performers. Here's the twist. As tourism revenue dried up, the city slashed its international marketing budget. Less promotion led to fewer bookings, which led to more cuts, a self-reinforcing downward spiral. From Fifth Avenue to Flushing, tour guides, cabbies, and small businesses report empty hours. Broadway ticket sales are down. Luxury stores, once buoyed by foreign shoppers, now see year-over-year declines. This isn't just a slowdown, it's a reputational slide. For a city that thrives on global allure, silence is a warning sign. Continuing our journey through cities in decline, we reach Orlando, a tourism titan now facing a staffing crisis. The sharp drop in J-1 visas this year quietly drained Florida's seasonal workforce, leaving hospitality businesses scrambling to fill roles once powered by international students. This led to desperate shortages across theme parks. Resorts and dinner shows lost half their usual student workers. Without J-1 participants, many shows were canceled outright. Guests faced hours-long waits. Lines clogged fountains and walkways. Staff scrambled to cover kitchen and housekeeping duties. Operators describe it as a juggernaut running out of steam. Summer crowds arrived, but rides stayed still. Dinner theaters locked up early. Hotels juggled shifts. Frustrated guests left negative reviews, and word spread that Orlando was faltering. This ties back to restrictive visa policies and sudden cost hikes that priced out student workers. Without enough hands to welcome visitors, Orlando's losing its magic and its revenue. From Orlando's staffing chaos, we move to Chicago, facing a quieter but no less severe collapse, driven by cancellations. By early May 2025, the shift was undeniable. Hotel lobbies, once alive with foreign voices, grew eerily still. Managers cut staff hours or closed early on days that used to be packed. The city's iconic architectural tours, typically bustling in spring, are running half full. Boat operators dock early. Dozens report entire group bookings vanishing without warning. The damage goes beyond hotels and tours. Cultural exchanges and international education programs have been shelved. Nonprofits canceled music residencies and language immersion weeks after sponsors backed out. Tour guides now share shifts to stay employed. Last year, Chicago welcomed over 55 million visitors. Now, streets once alive with global languages feel muted. Tourism leaders admit the cycle is feeding itself. Less foot traffic means fewer bookings, which means less budget to promote. Without global visibility, Chicago risks fading from travel itineraries. This isn't a marketing misstep, it's a loss of global trust. Moving from Chicago's quiet tours, we arrive in Miami, a global draw now losing its pull. In early May 2025, Google Travel Trend data showed a 15% year-over-year drop in tourist searches for Miami, making it one of the most avoided destinations worldwide. Local industry reports confirm service revenues. Restaurants, hotels, entertainment have shrunk by 20 to 35% since last season. Resorts are cutting international staff. Servers, concierges, and bellhops are being reassigned or let go. No-show rates spiked as bookings vanished. Despite hosting 6.44 million international visitors in 2024, generating roughly $7 billion, Miami now feels empty during its peak season. Silent beach bars and empty hotel lobbies have replaced the usual energy. Operators tracking flight cancellations and lower arrivals from Canada, South America, and Europe say this downturn is more than a slow week. It stems from visa friction and new costs. Miami's grappling with less foot traffic, shrinking staff, and growing frustration. The city built on allure now faces an economic slump with no easy fix. The pain doesn't end in Miami. It spills into Los Angeles, America's entertainment tourism star, now fading fast. Hollywood tours are drying up, with bookings down 37% as foreign travelers cancel studio visits. It's not just tourism. Film production across Greater LA tanked in early 2025. Movies, TV shows, even commercials plummeted. Fewer cameras rolling means fewer sets, crews, and global students arriving for internships. The ripple hits everything: hotels, cafes, souvenir shops, even Uber drivers. Cultural festivals and film schools report over 40% drops in international attendance. Without those visitors, LA's image as Hollywood's heart is dimming. When foreign groups pull out, the streets go silent. The buzz fades. Logistics teams scramble to hold things together. LA once thrived on global prestige, bringing in billions. Now, cancellations are stacking up, lights are dimming, and jobs are fading with the city's brand. Finally, we reach San Francisco, known for tech innovation and deep Asian ties, now fraying fast. In May 2025, U.S. government data showed a nearly 20% drop in F1 and J1 visas, particularly from Asia. Fewer international students landed in Bay Area campuses this year, and it's noticeable. Tech and design programs at schools like UC Berkeley and Academy of Art report a 22% enrollment drop. That's not just a statistic, it's future talent lost. The impact extends beyond classrooms. Chinatown is painfully quiet. Samwa, a restaurant over 100 years old, closed in January 2025. Locals say about 30% of shops and eateries there have shuttered since winter. Fewer students, fewer tourists, fewer lights on. San Francisco hasn't just lost travelers, it's losing its global pulse. From Miami shores to New York skyline, America's icons are going quiet. Not because of conflict or a pandemic, but a $250 visa fee. One small policy, and cities are losing tourists, jobs, and their global spotlight. So, here's the question. Is this a temporary stumble, or the moment the world turns away from the American dream? Have you visited Tucson, Orlando, or San Francisco? Would you return with that price tag? Share your thoughts in the comments. The future of U.S. tourism might start with your voice.